Yeah, I think it's a great opportunity for us to learn. A team that was, Red Bull really well coached, and a team that came out and with some real high intensity in the beginning of the game. I don't think we matched it. It took us a little while to get up to that speed, and then I think once we were able to sort of adapt to it, there was some positives to take away. And I think as we continue to learn and get better. I think I think there's opportunities that we can see the team that we're starting to become.
Hey BJ, on the attacking front, it looks like, especially towards the end of the game, you created enough chances, but that finishing touch wasn't there. Something we also saw maybe a little bit of against New England here at home. What do you think went wrong there in terms of not being able to finish those chances?
Yeah, I think we were able to create some as we got into the second half and a little bit more comfortable with the speed of play. Again, I mean, without having looked at it over and over again, I think it's just about making sure we're in the right spots in the penalty box and delivering the ball and finding the open players. But there was certainly, opportunities to get a goal, and positives to build on in the variety of the ways that we're getting into the penalty box and sort of even the different personnel that are creating scoring chances.
And then just on towards the end over there as well, once you made the changes, you brought Eddie Taxeth a little bit further back to be next to Yaz back there, and it looks like you guys were able to create a little bit more and maybe have a little bit more of what you had planned for. Was that just game state and maybe the Red Bull sitting back a little bit, or was it more the combination of those two players kind of building out and helping the midfield?
I think it's a combination. I think we were able to make the switch. We were able to tactically change a few things to get Eddie on the ball in lower positions and in wider positions and push Dan higher. So I think it started to open up that left side a little bit more. So I think for us it showed the partnership that Eddie and Patrick, and it's also a nice way to get Ahmed on the field in a really good position where I thought that link was able to make a positive impact.
Yeah, just one more on Ahmed Qasim. You spoke a little bit about him, but I guess this is the second time he comes off the bench and really makes a difference and starts creating up front. I mean, is this what you expected from him coming in as a younger player? Maybe been here a week or so?
Yeah, I mean, I think, when we identified him as a player, we believed that he was a guy that was going to be able to play between the lines and a player that's also comfortable facing people up 1v1 in a wide area. And I think over the last two games, you can see that, see glimpses of that. And, as he continues to build relationships with the team and we continue to get his fitness at the right level, I think it's the expectation would only be that he's going to take more steps forward. And so it's a good starting point for him. I think it's been a good starting point for a lot of the guys that are getting their opportunities. And again, I think in that second half, you start to see the progress that we're able to make and where we're able to, I think, glimpses of the team that we can become.
Yeah, yeah. Can you hear me?
Yep. Thank you.
Yeah. BJ, I guess what maybe did you kind of what was maybe the message at halftime to the team, just in terms of dealing with the pressure that Red Bulls were playing in? I guess what maybe changed for you guys after halftime, you thought?
Yeah, I think it took us a while to sort of adapt to the speed. It's something you can't replicate until you kind of are experiencing it. So it was, again, the message at halftime was to stay calm, stay committed to what we're doing, stay committed to each other. And I think, you saw that commitment from the group in the second half. It's of course the scoreline is the scoreline, but, I think we're proud of the way that we stuck to what we wanted to do and the guys stuck together and, again, continue to sort of learn. Now that's, now we'll be better the next time a team wants to come out and press us like they did and sort of compete for the second balls that they were able to win.
Yeah. And I guess, what did you see from, you mentioned, what did you see out of Patrick Yazbek, coming in last half hour and making his first appearance of the season?
Yeah, I think you see a guy who wants to be on the ball, who's brave to be on the ball, faces forward, wants to play forward. brought really good energy into the game. And that's what we ask from all the solutions that come in, is understanding why they're being put in the game. And I think you saw that with everybody. Patrick came in, Ahmed came in, Teal came in. So you see guys that are being able to make an impact on the team, and it's only going to strengthen our team as sort of everybody starts to make contributions.
Yeah, I think obviously conceding an early goal on the road is not the formula for success. I thought it was a scrappy goal. Probably we can do some more to try and just do emergency defending, get that thing out of there. Second goal's kind of similar. Can I get a better clearance on the ball? Can we possibly head back? Can we make sure that we're tight? And then he hits a top class goal. But that's what happens when you give those guys space. So to go down 2-0, I thought we really responded well in the second half. I thought we started pushing the tempo of the game, started moving the ball a little bit quicker, started to look a little bit more intense, more like we had the possibility of scoring a goal. So second half was better. Overall, disappointed with the result.
Hey, Walker. BJ talked about maybe the speed and the pressing of the Red Bulls, kind of something that you can't really replicate a whole lot until you experience it. And you had a couple of newer players maybe and a new team altogether really playing. Do you think there were anything you could have prepared for before getting there tonight? And was there anything you could have done maybe better to prevent that? Or is it really just experiencing that and that's kind of the growing, and as a team, not just you personally?
Yeah, I think we could have done a little bit of a better job on the in-game adjustments. We did adjust, obviously, in the second half. We tried to change some of our build-up in the first half and had some success. I think the downside of it was just we let up the early goal. So we had plenty of moments where we were, we talked about how important the bounce would be in this game just with how they press. And I thought we actually broke through their press quite a few times. But then I think we failed to really push the tempo once we did, or have some clear attacking opportunities once we did break it. Obviously, they turned us over plenty of times, especially early in the first half. But we did a better job in the second half of trying to continue to have bravery, build out of tough situations, and ultimately broke their pressure quite a bit. That led to some better chances, or at least transitions. So, I think we made some in-game adjustments. It's just when you go down in the first 7 minutes, you're behind the 8 ball a bit.
And then in terms of Corcoran and Meyer coming in kind of on the younger side and playing their first MLS minutes, and even the newcomers just in general, do you as a captain feel the need to go and maybe talk to them after the first loss and maybe offering them some words of advice? If so, what would you say to somebody in that situation?
Yeah, I mean, we've already had conversations in the locker room. It's about keeping momentum that they've had since preseason. I mean, they're not going to be defined by one game. They're not going to be defined by one play. They're playing for a reason. They've earned that. And so it's a matter of learning and continuing to evolve. And so, those guys are top pros. They're the hardest critic, their own hardest critic. So they're obviously, evaluating their own game, but it's our job to continue to continue them to want to play, want the ball, regardless of whatever happens. And, I think we can even do a better job on field of communicating some things to them earlier. Whether that is some rotations, getting them out wide and build up, whether it's getting them closer to us to help with second balls, and ultimately just communicating throughout, plays, especially in emergency defending. So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of responsibility on everyone. Those guys, again, top class, and we're going to keep going as a group from it.
Yeah, Walker. BJ has said in the past to us that he thinks the middle of the season is a really underrated part of the season. It's when you guys really want to be at your strongest as a team. Is that something you have to remind yourself after an early season loss? And I guess maybe what are you guys doing right now to maybe ensure that you are kind of reaching your peak as that middle of the season comes?
Yeah, I think it's tricky, right? Because it's professional sports. You're evaluated on wins and losses and total points gained on the table. I think when you look at a loss like this, you have to look and say, yeah, we didn't get 0 points. Did we at least build on something? Did we improve? Did we find positive moments to look at. And it's like, yeah, we did. I thought we did improve from half one to half two. It doesn't make it acceptable at all that, we lose games. I know it's going to happen, but that's not the standard that we set for ourselves. So did we want more than 1 point through 2 games? Absolutely. Are there still things that are positive? Yeah, like our bravery to build out of probably the highest pressing team in the league and do it well on many occasions. It's can we then limit some of the times that we don't build out well? But plenty of clips to highlight and things I'm sure we'll check out in film and look at the times that we were unable to do it and find the reasons behind it.
Yeah. And I guess, how much of just, your kind of maybe improved performance in the second half of the team, getting more chances, how much of that was maybe, kind of just things you were able to do mentally to settle into the game, and how much of that was maybe strategic or differences in build up, like you mentioned earlier?
I think it's both. I think, we have to also consider the score line. Were they pressing with the same intensity or the same consistency as they were in the first half? Maybe not. I do think the biggest change for us was getting into a little bit of a better shape when we had the ball, and using the balance even more effectively was a big key there. And then ultimately the tempo. I think we played a lot more 1-2 touch combinations, switched the ball a little bit faster. And when you do that over and over, it's going to make them drop their press a little bit. And so I think that was a big reason for the success in the second half.